All right, shalom, shalom. Yeah. All right, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Good honors to the elder apostles, great millstone who rule well. Salutation, much love. The Akim out there pushing out his word and truth sincerity. This is the brother Ash coming back with another live stream. Lord as well as edifying. And I'm just going to go into the mark of the beast. You know, Lord's will, I'm going to try to do at least once, at very least once a week, you know, updates on the mark of the beast, the articles I find and whatnot, you know, because this is the next step, you know, to the downfall of Babylon, you know, ultimately. But yeah, I got some articles here. We're going to get some scriptures and Lord's will is edifying. Just give me 1 second. All right. So we'll start off here in the book of Revelation. Start at Revelation chapter 12. All right, we'll bring out Revelation 13 later on through the Spirit. This is Revelation chapter 12 and 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he has but a short time." So this devil, he's about to come down with great wrath. And this article I'm about to bring out is going to go into it. But let me get the word there for wrath. Let's see what it says there. All right, because this devil, he's coming down, like the title of the video, Complete Control. Like that interview, who was it? Alex Jones and damn, I forgot, his name is escaping me. But nonetheless, you know, they talk about total control. So this, let me read that in the NLT as well. Revelation 12 and 12 says, "Therefore rejoice, O heavens, and you who live in the heavens rejoice. But terror will come on the earth and the sea, for the devil has come down to you in great anger, knowing that he has a little time." And this devil is coming, he's going to come with great anger because he knows his time is running out. He knows that we're talking about those that are the elites anyway of Edom. They know what the deal is, man, but they're trying to upset prophecy. So they're going to come down with great anger, killing, all right, depopulation, as they call it. You know, and like the Apostle Tahar has been saying, you know, pay attention, close attention to the World Economic Forum, you know, which started today. All right. And, you know, just see what what comes of this. You know, just watch, as the scriptures say, watch. Okay. Let's get that word real quick. Then we'll go to the article. The word for wrath, let's see. It's thymos.
Strong's G 2372.
Thumas. Okay. It says passion, angry, heat, anger, forthwith boiling up and soon subsiding again. Glow, ardor, the wine of passion and flaming wine, which either drives the drinker mad or kills him with his strength. Fierceness, indignation, okay, violent, breathe violently. Okay, so rage. So this is what's coming. Esau's coming with this rage, man. All right. And he's gonna, like we've seen in these last couple of years, that he's been bringing these draconian measures or draconian laws, you know, the harsh measures, and it's gonna turn up even more, Slakia. It's gonna turn up even more in these last days that we're living in. Right, because the what we've been experiencing have just been test runs, okay, for what's to come. So let's go ahead and get into this article now. All right. So here is an article I came across. All right, it's on the bulletin.org. And bulletin of the atomic scientists, and then you can find the doomsday clock here. You see on the right side of the screen. It is 100 seconds to midnight, and they give you updates here. It says join us for January 24th for the 2023 Doomsday Clock announcement. So they're going to update it. Pay attention to that as well. Okay, pay attention to the update or the announcement of the Doomsday Clock on the 23rd, or so like the 24th of 2023. So as you see here, the article is entitled "Microchips in Humans: Consumer-Friendly App or New Frontier in Surveillance." And as you see here, they have the X-ray of what we've been telling you. And then if you read the caption of the picture, it says an X-ray showing a Walletmore RFID chip injected into a person's hand after local anesthetic. The company's literature on its website says, forget about cash. What do you do with cash? You buy and sell. Now, as a matter of fact, now is a perfect time to bring out Revelation 13 and verse 16 and 17. It says, verse 16, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or on their foreheads, mark, which is the charagma, all right, which is this is what you're looking at on the screen right here, that right there, okay, that's the charagma, that's the mark. It says in their right hand or in their foreheads, so you can put it in your hand, you can also put it in your head, your forehead, your brain, and other parts of your body too. But specifically, the scriptures pointed out as your hand or your forehead, and we're going to see why later on. Verse 17, it says, and that no man might buy or sell. What do you use to buy anything or sell anything? If you sell something, what do you expect in return? Cash, right? Or money. Okay. It says that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So you're not going to be able to make transactions or participate in commerce unless you have this chip. So it says, since it says, highlighted here, it says, forget about cash, card, and smart solutions. Yeah, like Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, Google Pay, all that bullshit that's been conditioned in you. It says, since now you can pay directly with your hand. So let me highlight that. Since now you can pay directly with your hand. Let me read that again. Revelation 13 and 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. Buying and selling is what? Paying. And directly with your hand. And it said that it was going to be a mark inserted in the right hand or in their foreheads. Come on, man. It says, get your Walmart payment implant now and make a step into the future. Yeah, you're going to take a step into the future, all right. All right, but let's read on. I'm going to skip a lot of this stuff, but it says in 2021, a British-Polish firm known as Walletmore announced that it had become the first company to sell implantable payment microchips. So see how they changed the words, but it's still the same shit. It says to everyday consumers, while the first microchip was implanted in human way back in 1998. So this is nothing new. That's 2008. 2018, so that we 25 years people have been being implemented with this technology. Okay, this technology has been implemented since 1998, and even before that, this was a commoner. They've been using this in the military for a while, prior to 1998. I can't remember the exact date, but I think it was like late 80s, if I'm not mistaken. Do your research. It says the military anyway, because remember, all the technology is always run through the government, the military. They use it first and then release it to the public. I say so long as it might as well. Let me jump down a little bit. It says people are voluntarily having these chips, technically known as radio frequency identification chips, which you heard it here first at Great Millstone. Okay. RFIDs injected under their skin. How do you get it under their skin? We'll get to that. It says because these microscopic chips of silicon allow them to pay what is paying, buying and selling. When you pay for something, you're buying something, right? I mean, it don't get no simpler than that. It says allow them to pay for purchases at a brick and mortar store just by hovering their hand over a scanner at a checkout counter. That's why they. Oh, let me keep reading. At a checkout counter, entirely skipping the use of any kind of credit card, debit card, or cell phone app. See Figure 1 at top of page. Figure 1, Exhibit A. you know, so they've been programming people with the credit cards, with the debit cards, with the cell phone apps to do contactless payments. Okay, it says while many people are may initially recoil from the idea of having a microchip inserted in their body. A 2021 survey of more than 4,000 people in Europe, which they're talking about the EU nations, which is the beast. Survey of more than 4,000 people in Europe found that more than 51% of respondents said that they would consider this latest form of contactless payment. And so 51% of people would say they would consider it, and that's right. Whenever this was that in 2021, so in 2021, 51% of people, the 4,000 people they polled, said they would take it or consider it, right, to open doors in subways and to unlock your card or whatever, or to use your Metro card. With Subway Metro card, it's buying a ticket. It's always buying and selling at the end of the day. So 51% of the respondents of that poll said they would take it, and it wasn't even that bad yet. Yeah, 2021, the C19, that was running rampant in 2021 still. I'm not sure about the date of the survey, but nonetheless, 2021, it was still running rampant. And people was willing to take it. 51% more than half of the people were willing to. So what happens when Esau drops the hammer? He comes down with great wrath. It's going to be more than 51% of the people. So already half of the people that they polled was willing to take it. So it's going to be like 80% of the people are going to be willing to take it when they can't buy no food. It says, would consider the latest form of contactless payment for everything from buying a Subway Metro card to using it in place of a key fob to unlock a car door. In some ways, the RFID chips in this manner is merely an extension of what it has been going on before. The chips are already widely used among pet owners. Okay, blah, 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 pets. Let's go down to the good stuff. It says, consequently, such consumer technology can look like the next logical step, especially those who already favor piercings and tattoos, which that's a big trend. People love getting tattoos and getting pierced. But on second glance, the insertion of identifying microchips in humans would also seem bear the seeds of a particularly intrusive form of surveillance, which we'll get to that. They're going to override all of that, all right, like they did during 2001, the NDAA Act or the Patriot Act. There's something's coming that's going to make your privacy irrelevant, all right? This next event that's coming is going to override what you feel secure with or your privacy. You just wait and see. It says, been forcibly collecting biological data. For especially at a time when authorities in some parts of the world have been forcibly collecting DNA and other biological data, including blood samples, fingerprints, voice recordings, iris scans, and other unique identifiers. Which all those things they just other than blood samples, fingerprints, voice recordings, iris scans, and other unique identifiers. That's all through your phone. They've been collecting that. Come on, man. It says from all their citizens in an extreme form of surveillance state. You're already in a surveillance state via your phone and everything around you. All right, this is the Internet of Things. Everything is watching you at all times and hearing you, watching you. Okay, everything detecting you. It's the Internet of Things, man. Everything is a smart device now. Cameras everywhere. Social media. You've given up your privacy and your rights via social media. So you come on, man. It's a done deal with the majority of these people. They love they talking about privacy and my rights, but you hear this, you posting what you ate for breakfast and where you at this morning. It says, before deciding what to think of that tech, we have to look under the hood. All right, so let's get into it now. What is a human microchip implant? A human implant is typically an identifying integrated and identifying integrated circuit device in the form of a radio frequency identification transponder encased in a silicate glass and implanted in the body of a human being around the size of a grain of rice. The chips are usually inserted into the skin just above the user's thumb. Where's your thumb? It's on your hand. Revelation 13. Using a syringe similar to that used for giving the V's right there. So the same way they gave those C19 jump shots is the same way they're going to give you this device, syringe. You go into the word in Revelation 13 when it talks about Mark, charagma. You go into that root word is charax. This is the charax, the syringe. It says once embedded, and this is disclaimer. This is in no way, shape, or form medical advice or medical information. This is plainly reading an article from Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists. So this is a scientific article in biblical scriptures. So there's in no way, no shape or form. I'm no way giving medical advice. Okay, this is plainly on the screen telling you what it is. I didn't write this article. I didn't make this up. I'm just reading it. It says once embedded, the chips are typically read by an external scanner, also known as a reader, that picks up the electromagnetic field emitted by a small antenna coil inside the implanted chip. So it says an external scanner. What's an external scanner? Your phone, smart devices, everything pretty much nowadays. It says this type of subdermal implant usually contains a unique ID. That's why we're going to get to the digital IDs, all right, the medical IDs, which it will. Let me keep reading. It says a unique ID number that can be linked to information contained in an external database. That's why people say, how are they going to contain all the information on that little microchip? Well, they don't need to. All they need to do is have a unique ID number that will link it to the external database, such as the cloud, and so on and so forth, and can contain data such as one's personal identification. Aren't they talking about digital IDs, right? Encounters with the law enforcement. So all your records will be on there at the scan. They don't need to ask for your ID no more. Oh, why? Oh, I'm a sovereign citizen. All they gotta do is scan you. It says medical history. Wonder why? Medications, allergies, and contact information. And then when you see these parentheses here, these are sources, which I will show you at the end. So whoever wrote this article has sources. He sourced everything. He's not just making shit up. Says there are two types of microchips, active and passive. It doesn't, they say the active microchips have their own battery, but listen, it doesn't matter because you have smart devices everywhere that will instantly power those chips up. All right. So it doesn't, and your BTUs, the body thermal units, are going to be able to power it. But if they need to be scanned, then hey, everything around you is scanning all times, man. It says the main challenges facing the implementation of microchips can be summarized in 3 words: security, safety, and privacy. And all these 3 things are going to be taken down in the name of safety. All right. When people want peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come. Let's get that. Because Esau's got something coming that's going to make people, oh, shit, we need this. Just like they did with the jump shot. People say, oh, everybody was losing their mind. They didn't want to lose their jobs. They didn't want to do this. They didn't want to do that. But what? Then they came with a solution. They created the problem, C19, all right? Then they came with the solution, which was the jump shot. And you see how that worked out. All right, but people were begging for it, so that's what they got. What was I going to get? Oh, First Thessalonians, peace and safety. Let me get that. First Thessalonians 5. And 3, it says, for when they shall say peace and safety, and that's one of the things, right? Security, safety, and privacy, which is pretty much all the same thing, right? Security, safety, and privacy. That's the same. It's pretty much all the same, man. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So this thing is gonna come upon you, man. When you're looking for, because whenever whatever Esau does next, he is gonna come with the solution next, just like he did 2 years ago, right? All right, or these last 3 years, 2 years. It says they are the pillars of any potential user's trust of new technology, blah blah blah. So let me scroll down a little bit. It says obstacles to acceptance. So it goes into, and I'll put this in the description box after I'm done with the video, Lord's will, and then you can read it for yourself. But pretty much this is what they're saying. Technology. Well, technology is moving quickly with biohacking, all right? And things improve every day. The Internet of Things, through the Internet of Things, which let me read a little bit of this. It says the field of RFIDs is advancing every day, and the chips are getting smaller and smarter. These factors have several implications because in the world of Internet of Things, the IoT, chips are considered as the primary element. So why do you think they're fighting so much about the producers of these chips, man? Taiwan and these other places. I forgot where they just found a mine where they can start making chips from. They found resources for it, but nonetheless, this is the primary element. You are the next step. You are the primary element once you get this chip. It says a typical Internet of Things system consists of the chips, because everything has a chip: your computer, your phone, your car, your remote control, everything. It says a typical Internet of Things system consists of the chips, also known as sensors, networks, the cloud, and applications. And they have small cells. That's why they're going to be able to do 6G with the people that receive this, because as we read up top, what does that chip? What does the chip have? Let's go back up real quick. See if I can find it. Okay, it said once embedded. Let me highlight it. Once embedded, the chips are typically read by an external scanner, also known as reader, that picks up the electromagnetic field emitted by a small antenna inside the chip. So the chips have the capability to amplify whatever signal is sent to them. All right, so you're going to be the new antenna, okay, for this 6G network, which that's what they ultimately want. Where was I at, though? Let's go back to technology. It says as a sensor, the chip touches upon your hand, your heart, your brain, and the rest of your body, literally. The continual shrinking of ever smarter chips is set to give a very different meaning to what some have called hacking the body or biohacking. While experts continue to worry about protecting critical infrastructure and mitigating security risks, implemented chips also affect health. Yeah, because you're gonna die. Business, what? That's through. That's already a done deal, because it's gonna go to digital currency. Society, what they think is gonna be irrelevant when they bring this wrath. Okay, there you go. Somebody scanning their chip to pay. Advantages of the microchip, none. I don't know why they got that there, because there ain't none. Because pursuant to Revelation 14, you're gonna die. All right, health monitoring. Well, we know what that's all about. All right, but let's listen to this. It says healthcare will benefit from easily stored and accessed health data and identification. And wow, at the time that we're living in, wouldn't this be such a great help? It says a microchip under the skin could collect vital data and save it, which the end user could then upload via secure Wi-Fi or mobile network. A new age of microchip applicants. It talks about Elon Musk's Neuralink with references. Okay, which if you know anything about writing papers, for school or college, whatever, you gotta reference your sources. So that's what this is here. All right. Disadvantages of microchips. they always try to paint the picture. Oh, people gonna be hacking you and this and that. And here are the references highlighted throughout the article. You can check it out for yourself. But hey, the systems are in place. Bluetooth. It says Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. It says in addition, regardless of whatever it's. So this is point proves my point I mentioned earlier. It says in addition, regardless of whether it's active or passive, whether it got a battery in it or don't. If they don't need batteries in it for what? It'll be activated as soon as it's around a smart device, which is everywhere around you. You don't leave your phone at home, do you? When you go to the store, there's smart devices around. You got a smart TV, right? You might have a smart fridge, a smart toaster, a smart thermostat, all kind of smart devices around you that work off of all this technology, which we're about to read about. It says whether it's active or passive, the microchip requires a communication channel that uses Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, or a mobile network between the microchip and its receivers. That's everywhere around you. Come on, man. It's common sense. And ultimately, again, going back to the total control, okay, that's what people are going to fall into, man. Let's go to, because why? They don't want to lose their lives, man. What the scriptures say, the love of money is the root of all evil. You think people are going to be willing to lose their money and change their lifestyles overnight when they change the digital currency? And then it might be a couple weeks, it might be a couple days, who knows? But they're going to eventually say, hey, you got cash, you got to come bring it in. And they might tell you got to take the chip if you want to transfer that cash over to digital. What was I about to get? Oh, that's right. Yeah, they love their masters. So let's go to the example in Exodus 21. Exodus 21, and I'll just start verse 1. It says, now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. If thou buy an Hebrew servant, and that's the ultimate goal, right? That's the ultimate consumers that Esau wants, the Israelites, the Hebrews. It says, if thou buy an Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve, and in the 7th he shall go out free. Here's the point, though. It will come in. If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master hath given him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her masters. So everything you own ain't even yours, right? Same thing with if you owned a Hebrew servant back then. So now Esau don't give it down. You know, you owned by him. Your wife, your kids are owned by him. It says verse 5. Oh, so like verse 4. If his master have given him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her masters, and he shall go out by himself. So if you're gonna have Esau gonna make it so if you want to leave, then leave. But most likely your family's gonna stay here, man. Because what? The woman, the kids, they benefit from the government. The man don't benefit. What the hell a man benefit from the government other than being in slavery? That ain't a benefit. But the woman, she can get food stamps, she can get Section 8, Section 9, alimony, child support. The kids, they benefit from that to a certain degree, depending on the woman. Okay. It says, verse 5, and if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. Yeah, that's because you love this world. You know, fast forwarding it to now, of course. You love this place, man. You don't want to let these things go. Your riches, what you've worked for. Your family, hey, your family might get you killed. Okay, that's why the scriptures say, if you love your father, mother, son, daughter, it's like it more than you love the Most High, you cannot be his disciple, man, because you love the world more than you love Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. And that's going to be a snare unto you. Verse 6, then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door or unto the doorpost, so publicly. Okay, and this is how it's going to be. Just like those jump shots were public. All right, you got to go out in public and get them, right. Go get your test. Go get your mask. Go get your jump shot, right? It was all in public. So everybody's seeing your simple ass out there, right? It says, then his master, and that's showing obedience, and that's showing that you love your master. You obey your master. So you do it publicly so Esau can claim you, so to say. But now he's about to take it to the next step. It says, then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. So let's get this word here. In Exodus 21:6. Let's get the word there for, what was it? Bore. I think that was it. Yeah, I think it's bore. So the word there says to bore, pierce. All right, so pierce. What's going to pierce you? Well, that Karax. What we read earlier in the article. All right, I'll just highlight it. Where was it? Said it clear as day. How they would put that chip in you. See if I can find it again. I can't find. I don't remember what, but it says something about injecting it or injectable, something like that. Injection, such as the V's. It's like, yeah, I can't find it. I can't remember where it was. Give me 1 second. Let's see if I can. Well, nonetheless, rewind the video. You saw it. If you made it this far, you saw where it said it in the article, right? Oh, here it is. I found it. Around the size of the grain of rice, the chips typically inserted, so I didn't say injected, inserted, which is the same shit, into the skin just above the user's thumb, using a syringe, Karax, similar to that used for giving the V's. There we go. So let's go back to this definition. Pierce, bore. There was a word. Okay, here it is. It says to transfix. All right, it says to pierce through, to transfix. And I got the etymology of the word. All right. Well, I had it. Let me pull it back up. Give me 1 second. Bubble shop. Transfix. The verb transfix means pierce through, impale. Impale. Right? Impale. So now, so the word there was impaled or impaled. It says to impale, pierce through, to stick. All right. So now, and bore, you know what bore is. When you bore a hole, you cutting into whatever it is. I know bore from. I'm a car guy. I used to work. I still deal with cars, but when you bore an engine, you cutting the hole. You're making the cylinder bigger. Okay. But if you were to bore a hole without the cylinder, you're boring a hole, all right, you're cutting into whatever the material may be to dig a hole into it. And that's what the Karax does, so that they can inject the charagma. All right. And what's going to be in that charagma? The grapho, the information that we read about. All right. You go into the word graphos, it's talking about the information. It's really talking about writing. But what's going to be written, what they call it digitally anyway, they call it coding, right? They code in the website, they code in this, they code in that. Well, what are they doing? They're writing code. That's what's going to be done to you. And whether it's on the same, all the information is on that chip, or it could just be outsourced to the cloud, an external database, as it says right here. This type of subdermal implant usually contains a unique ID number that can be linked to the information contained in an external database and can contain data such as one personal information, so on and so forth. So they don't need to put all the information on there, man. Don't be ridiculous. But let's go to so transfix again, Slakia. The word transfix, it mentioned the word impel. So because it said if he loved his master in this Exodus 21, that he would have to bore that all into him. Okay. So let's go to let me finish this first, Salakia. Let me go back. And Salakia, this computer is not the quickest. It's pretty old. It might be from 2004, but it still works. But let's go to Slakia. No, I want to get rid of this. What's going on here? Just bear with me. All right. Let me put that away. Say, then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl. So bore meaning to impale, make the hole through the ear, right? And the awl. Let's see what the awl is. Should it just stay there, but it's all good. Awl. Here it is. H4836. And then we'll go on to the next word in Revelation. Remember the word transfix from the word bore. It says all born instruments. So it's the same thing. All right? The born instrument. So now let's go, which we know the born, another word for born is impel. Well, and just before I pull this up, what was Vlad the Impaler known for? What did he put in the ground? Stakes. He put stakes in the ground, and he would put heads on those stakes. So let's get the word there. Revelation 13:16. Let's go to let's go to Charagma. Charagma, however you want to pronounce it. G5480 in the lexicon, in the Strongs. Stamp. Okay, there's the Charagma, which is the RFID microchip. That's what's going to be imprinted in you. Stamped on you, right? That's going to be graven in you. Scratch, you go into the word scratch or scratching, is a slight tear in the skin. Well, how is that slight tear in the skin going to happen? Well, let's go to the root word, karax. To sharpen to a point through the idea of scratching, which again, you go into the etymology of scratching, is a slight tear in the skin. Impale, a stake, a palisade, a rampant. All right. And what do you do with those stakes? You impel them into the ground. How do you build a trench? You have to impale those sharpened points into the ground. The ground being you, the stake being where was it? Where was it at? Being that same device they used to give people the jump shot with. I lost it again, but nonetheless, here it is. Here it is right here. A syringe similar to that used for giving the veggies, the vaginations. All right, so it's plain and simple, man. It's plain and clear to see what the mark of the beast is at this point in time. All right. great persecution is coming for this, as it did before, man. And people are going to die because they refuse to take, the MOTB. So let's get Revelation chapter 20. You know what? This is going to take too long. This computer going. I'll just get on my phone, so lock it. Let's go to Revelation 20. But what? Not everybody's going to die that refuses this. The elect will make it. A good majority of the elect will make it. Some will be beheaded, as we're about to read. But the Lord's about to show His power. It says Revelation 20:4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of the Most High, in which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had. So it goes to show you there's distinctions between those. All right, the image is not the mark. It says neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years, going into the first resurrection. Okay, but let me so there will be people that die, just as before when the Greeks were in power, when they came down with great wrath on Israel. Let me go to First Maccabees 1, and I'll just start at 57. Get straight to the point. This First Maccabees. Actually, let me see. I might be able to pull it up if it complies with me, computer. Give me a second, Slakia. Hey, this thing's about patience, man. Can't wait a couple seconds for this to load, and go ahead and sign off and go watch some big booty hoes. All right. So this is never mind, man. This computer is through. I'm gonna start a GoFundMe account. No, I'm just kidding. my cash app for the new computer is I'm just kidding. We not niggas like that. First Maccabees chapter 1. Let's just go to verse 1, so it don't take forever to load. Slakia. All right, so First Maccabees chapter 1. Come on, baby. Slakia. All right, let's go down to verse 57. All right, so right here it says, I mean, I could go up, but I just want to get straight to the point. It says, verse 57, and wheresoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should be put to death. So this is coming again, even though this was concerning about eating swine, if I'm not mistaken, and doing all these living by the ways of the Greeks. But now it's going to be consenting unto the new world order. All right, the beast, the image. Okay, that's why it says that they worship the beast and his image and receive his mark. So if you don't comply, you're gonna most likely you have a great chance of being put to death. Verse 58. Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month, to as many as were found in the cities. Now the 25th day of the month they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of of God. At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised. But that's another thing, right? Keeping the law. And what's keeping the law is not taking this mark of the beast, all right? And it says, and they hanged the infants about their necks and rifled their houses and slew them that had circumcised them. So yeah, it was in the swine. I think the swine was later. Well, it was pretty much keeping the laws of the heathen, man. they becoming Hellenized, okay, and serving their gods. Oh yeah, and sacrifice swine's flesh. Yeah, see, I knew it was something about swine, but okay, so they were sacrificing swine's flesh. Let's go back to verse 59. Now the 5 and 20th day of the month they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of the Most High. That's blasphemy, man. That's wicked. Sacrificing these wicked things or these unclean things on the altar of the Most High, which they made into an idol altar. It says, at which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised, and they hanged the infants about their necks. And so you think this devil has changed? This same devil that's in charge now, so-called white man, and rifle their houses. Hey, they're gonna rifle your houses again, and slew them that had circumcised them. Howbeit many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean things. So it was about, okay. It's been a minute since I read this chapter fully. Got to get it back into it though. Lord's will, I'll read it later today. So there was many that were bucking up, just like there will be many today buck up against it, not just of Israel, but of Esau. There's going to be a lot of people that buck up against this new world order when they drop the hammer with this mark of the beast, all right, which they're finna do in these coming weeks, changing the money system. And that's going to be the preemptive strike for it. Verse 6:3, wherefore they chose rather to die. Then we read in Revelation that they were beheaded. Why were they beheaded? Because they chose rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they may not profane the holy covenant. So then they died, and there was a very great wrath upon Israel. All right, they're coming. Esau, Edom is coming for you Israelites once again, man. And he's coming with a great wrath, like we read. It's a great wrath, okay? And we read in Revelation 12 that he's coming with great wrath. He started with great wrath, and he's going to end with great wrath upon Israel. All right? So Lord's willing, this was edifying. I didn't want to drag this off too long. Kind of went longer than I wanted, but it was all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, man. All right? Hey, repent and take heed, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand, man, and continue to watch. All right, pay attention to what's going on. So with that, Lord's will is edifying. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachakadash, double honors to the elder apostles, great millstone who were well. Shalom.